Mm-mm. Oh yeah, looking good. Yes, the fox just kicked over that shop.
Had big plans since I was young. Dreams round here.
Oh, nice.
Where hearts are sprung.
Thank you, Dewey.
Smiling faces where I belong. Wanted to lead, make right from wrong. Down Main Street, I walked each day, shaking hands, hearing what they say. Promised folks I'd pave their way, be their voice come election day. Gonna be the mayor, standing tall, listening to the voices call, mending fences, building walls, together we rise,
One and all.
from the old oak to the county line. Fix the roads, make them shine. Bring in commerce, make it mine. For the town, that's my design. On the porch, talk of glory days. Stories
How'd they do that?
told in sunset rays. In this town where we were raised, I'll work hard in 1,000 ways. Gonna be the mayor, standing tall, listening to the voices call, mending fences, building walls, together we rise, one and all. Gonna be the mayor, standing tall, listening to the voices call, mending fences, building walls, together we rise, one and all.
Huh?
Wheeling and Sharks with the rope made of gold. Fish scales gleam, stories never get old. Ocean so deep, it's a gangster's domain. Fertilizer plants, farming money like rain. Big fish, nets glisten, we on a mission. Gill stacks rising, tropical ambition. Big fish, nets glisten, we on a mission. Gill stacks rising, tropical ambition. Big fish, nets glisten, we on a mission. Gill stacks rising, tropical ambition. Big fish, nets glisten, we on a mission. Laughing at the tide, doing what we gotta do. Palm tree swaying, beats bumping on deck. Ice in the cooler, gold chain on my neck. Barnacle hustle, seashell game tight. Turn tuna into dollars under moonlight. Cast the line, pull the weight, that's the code. Gill got the juice, fertilizer overload. From the dock to the crops, we stay on grind. Every fish in the net, another dollar sign. Lobster pots bubbling, crabs in the trap. Snapping claws talk, that's a gangster clap. Seagulls squawking, jealous of the crew. They can't fish the hustle, they don't have the view. Big fishing, nets glisten, we on a mission. Gill stacks rising, tropical emission. Big fishing, nets glisten, we on a mission. Gill stacks rising, tropical ambition. Big fishing, nets glisten, we on a mission. Gill stacks rising, tropical ambition. Big fishing, nets glisten, we on a mission. Laughing at the tide, doing what we gotta do. Big fishing, nets glisten, we on a mission. Gill stacks rising, tropical emission. Big fishing, nets glisten, we on a mission. Laughing at the tide, doing what we gotta do. Laughing at the tide, doing what we gotta do. Laughing at the tide, doing what we gotta do. Laughing at the tide, doing what we gotta do. Laughing at the tide, doing what we gotta do. Well, Baldy sat down with a grin so wide. Said, let's see how far this code will glide. He clicked one key, then two, then three, and the server groaned like an old oak tree. Oh, Baldy's broke the server, yes, it's true. Everything froze, didn't know what to do. But don't you worry, he came back through. 'Cause Baldy's fixed the server, he's a hero too. The chat was screaming, the players stuck. Someone yelled, man, we're out of luck. But Otis rolled up his sleeve, said, wait and see. This game's not done, not while there's me. A line of code, a patch or two. He worked all night till the sky turned blue. Oh, Otis broke the server, yes, it's true. Everything froze, didn't know what to do. But don't you worry, he came back through. 'Cause Otis fixed the server, he's a hero too. He's the breaker and the mender, the game world's great defender. With the coffee in hand and a little smile, he'll crash it again, but just wait a while. Oh, Otis broke the server, yes, it's true. Everything froze, didn't know what to do. But don't you worry, he came back through. 'Cause Otis fixed the server, he's a hero too. Lights are flashing in the dark, neon signs that leave a mark. City streets where shadows play, chasing dreams that slip away. Electric pulse beneath my skin, a world of color pulls me in. A rhythm beats, I lose control. Shells up and chances feed my soul. Reflections dance on glassy streets, the sound of heartbeats sharp and sweet. Nighttime whispers in my ear, a melody I long to hear. Electric pulse beneath my skin, a world of color pulls me in. A rhythm beats, I lose control. Chills if the chances feed my soul. The night ignites a burning flame. We're caught inside a glowing game. The wires hum, the circuit sings. In this loop, we're everything. Electric pulse beneath my skin, a world of color pulls me in. A rhythm beats, I lose control. Chills if the chances feed my soul. The night ignites a burning flame. We're caught inside a glowing game. The wires hum, the circuit sings. In this loop, we're everything. Electric pulse beneath my skin, a world of color pulls me in. A rhythm beats, I lose control. Choose after dozens feed my soul. Electric pulse beneath my soul. Electric pulse beneath my skin, a world of color pulls me in. A rhythm beats, I lose control. Shoes up. Song about the chillest game I can't stop playing. Grinding mats for the town and monsters slaying. My chat keeps telling me to wake up, but this game has got me, so I am staying. I fade into the game as it's got control. 12 hours have gone by and I didn't know.
What's going on? Which I'm doing? I'm gonna go collect my barge and stuff and bring it down to the site.
Sunlight fades as the moon takes its place in this.
I don't have my skid steer down there or nothing, so makes it a little difficult to work.
Found my space, lost
Oh, my floating barge is apparently stuck in the bridge because of things. Oh, then it drops down when I get close. Bow. And apparently killed a goat. So many levels of, oh shit, no. What the fuck? I don't think this is gonna work, boys. How much planning happens pre-season pertaining to groups, towns, characters, concepts? It depends. Some groups like to plan a lot. In my book, too much. I do some pre-planning. As far as like, hey, friends, like, hey man, we're going to play together. That's cool. Let's do the thing. And that's about it for, especially for RP, because I don't want to like set the narrative so hardcore that, like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't allow for variance and stuff, because then you set yourself up, in my opinion, for disappointment right away. Like, if things, since we don't force RP on people, obviously, we don't want to like set it to where it's like, oh, this is set this way. We try to adapt. Everybody tries to do a little bit without breaking the overall concept of DimWorld. So I know, as far as like, some of my friends are in Nottingham, some of them were in Motor City. We had a bunch of people I'd never even met before join Motor City and stuff. And I kind of like that, because we do a lot of, when we play Eco a lot. When we play on regular servers and things like that, we there's a lot of sweatiness that can come through. And I have a lot of friends, including myself, that can get pretty sweaty in these type of games. And I just like to let all that go when I RP. When this, or when I was playing Dark Side or anything else, I try to choose like a basic job, especially if I'm helping out with support and doing other things. In regular Eco, I usually play engineer, mechanic, industry. I'm usually always the mayor, just because other people don't want to deal with it. And I usually have to make at least 3 laws to protect the town, control some stuff to protect the citizens, and usually whatever else that they require. Because I think the one thing that's lost upon people, you know, not necessarily in this server, but in Eco in general, the mayor is there to facilitate what the town wants, not to control the people in the town to tell them what to do. And sometimes that's lost in the thing. Fortunately, in DimWorld, we don't have a lot of mayors that are like that, you know, where I'm going to dominate you and stuff. I look at mayors and other people that have those type of roles. They're supposed to be the fun makers, you know. You know. I'm here. Hey, Emp, what's up? Hey, Andreas. Levy says the ILRP was surprisingly one of the best servers I played on. Just the game had an issue waiting on updates, lost interest. Yeah, that was interesting. I never played it. I watched a lot. I watched Bikeman play it and some other people, and it looked interesting. It just, the scope was really narrow, and it was supposed to get bigger, and it just, I don't know. Still, even today, it looks like it'd be a fun time though. I've just never worked it in my schedule to do. There's always something more that in something else that I want to try out. I had a random friend in Discord say DimWorld RP is coming out next week. It's really fun RP, so I bought the game, logged in. But my fear was I don't know anyone. Her group was full, and I wasn't sure how much fun living alone in a dirt hut would be when I have zero interest in crafting, building, etc. You know, I can see that. Some people, but yeah, I think you can come in and do that. The great thing about in RP or even in regular eco servers, I've gone into regular active eco servers that are like already been on a week and just see how far I can get. And I like some of the mechanics. I like some of the trading. I like all that stuff, even outside of RP. So I do like that crafting and some of those elements in it. There's a lot of elements that I'm like, God, I wish they improve on. But when I do RP, I try not to get caught up in all that. You know, yeah, you want to progress. Yeah, you want to do that stuff. But sometimes you'll miss out on a lot, like, of moments, fun stuff, funny things that happen, you know, just like in Dark Side. If you get too caught up in game mechanics. Turned out to be a crazy amount of fun, though. Just to people met organically. So my curiosity would be, how do you reach out to people to be like, what kind of town vibes might you plan, etc. Well, I mean, like I said, circles of friends, both in the DimWorld community and outside of that, would be like, hey, I got an idea. And then some of them will, if it's questionable, if like they know or even don't know what would kind of go for and what wouldn't go for, I always encourage people, you know, message the admins, you know, put in a ticket, those type of things, even preseason, to say, hey, I have this concept for a character. Does it vibe with what you guys want to do? Does it vibe with like what this thing is? And a lot of people did ask that, and they were kind of given the whole, oh yeah, that sounds good, or be aware of this, you know, because you might not know something coming up, or maybe there's some mod updates that would facilitate what your idea is better for you. So making people aware of what's kind of like good or bad, not necessarily with their idea, but with the world vibe and what you want to do, whether that would mesh together well. Because we've had people that wanted to be like, you know, I want to be a big crime syndicate and all that stuff. It's like, well, let me make you aware of these criminal mechanics that we're trying to do, you know, and see if that will work into what you're vibing on, or if like you're gonna kind of contradict what that mechanic is that we've added in, those type of things. So that way it's kind of mitigated beforehand. But even during the thing, people come with ideas. Like you've had a lot of creative ideas, and you put in tickets and asked questions and stuff, and I think that's usually the best approach. As far as the actual making of a town goes, like, I think it's best to experience being in a town and vibing with the town before a lot of people come in and it's like, I'm gonna be a mayor. I'm like, cool, who are you here with? Well, I'm by myself. I'm like, well, I mean, you can still do that. You just need to, you know, RP it out and like have your character meet people, see if that works for you. But that's why we have back end things like the Mayor's Guide to teach people like how those mechanics work, and specifically how they work in DimWorld. So that way people aren't caught flat footed. They understand the responsibilities they have and other mechanical things they have to do outside of just portraying a mayor, you know, in that way. So yeah, I always tell people, when in doubt and you have a question about any aspect of it, just ask. And, you know, most people will be pretty helpful. And if you don't know server wise what's a good vibe, where vibes are not with your town idea, you know, ask the admins. I will say one thing I've noticed, especially this past season, was like, I think some towns weren't prepared for some of the chaos that may or may not occur with having different people in their town. And maybe they some welcome it, and some of them like look at it like it was not really what they were expecting or wanted. So I think communicating about what characters, you know, you do or do want, those type of things, and also making sure that the town and people you're playing with vibe with that. If you have friends that you're making a town with preseason, that would be good. I think the challenge people had wasn't even the RP or the conflict or the vibe of the town. The challenge people had was people came in with like these dynamic town plans of what they wanted to do preemptively, and they like, okay, I know exactly what we're going to do and all this stuff. And then when the narrative didn't allow for them to do that necessarily, or even the game mechanics or rules, they wanted to kind of force their way to do those things. You know, they were going to try to pit themselves in that narrative and make that happen regardless. And yeah, that's not going to work out well. I've been on servers where it's like, I don't think, you know, you versus the rule set, or you versus the admins, or you versus that vibe is probably the best thing to do. I guess is the only way I can think of say it. Yeah. Yeah, usually rolling with it's pretty good. And it's almost like one of those things you learn how to do trades, and just your character can play like he's learning how to do shit. You know, oh, I'm still learning too. You know, you can become a apprentice or something or whatever else, you know, when you're doing RP, like even if you don't care about the game mechanics, those type of things, that's like learn some of the gameplay if that's even of interest of you, you know. But in RP, a lot of us don't care. We like people who just trade and do all the other stuff in eco. I don't need somebody to like know exactly how many boards go into a thing or whatever else. I don't need somebody to know the best, most efficient way to do every aspect of the game, because that's not what DimWorld's about. There you go. Well, I'm glad you've had a good time, though. Yep. It's amazing what you can do. I really think eco lends to RP very well. I think there's a lot of things they could improve on to make it better for RP. But I think the whole vibe of having, you know, it's not really a conflict based game. It's more about economics, trade, and you know, environment and those type of things. But it's like all those aspects I think actually lend it to not having a split focus. One of the things with Atlas was it was fun for RP, just like, you know, Conan and stuff, but you always have to have the underlying conflict of something physical. You always have to have these other things. And it takes some of the funny moments away from it in my book, you know, that are potential there. That takes a lot of that stuff there. And it adds a complication for administrators to not only try to administrate social issues with players between people, but it also makes them have conflict resolution, worry about combat mechanics, worry about all this other stuff that, yeah, it can be really fun in RP, but it also can be really stressful for people. Yeah. And I loved playing Darkside, and I love playing Atlas in that way, because it brought back a game that had so much potential that I really enjoyed, in a manner that, you know, Ven and the Darksiders made it, where it was really fun, and it had some rules based around those combat mechanics so you could do it. But my God, the amount of stress just with the helping out on the support side of things here, much less like what the admins deal with on a day-to-day basis over here to make this thing run. I couldn't imagine doing that in a conflict-based game. Like, I wouldn't want any piece of that, to be honest. Unless I was just going to be able to be my usual admin self, where I'm just like, yeah, that's cool, bro. Ban. Next person, ban. Yeah. You're a hostage in Armor 3. You were a policeman. Okay. Yeah, for your RP. Yeah, you don't. The concept of being invincible is kind of weird in RP, unless you're playing like a superhero or something like that. Or hostage bound for dinner. Some people don't like to submit to that type of gameplay. But if it's understood from the outset that's potential that can happen, there you go. That's why even the police punishments here, when we're doing PD and crime and all this stuff, are very, they're light, like keep a guy around, interact with them maybe 10, 15 minutes. Because we know people have real lives and stuff, Some people don't have all day to play. They have like a window of time. And if you consume that time with a bunch of other stuff, it kind of creates a barrier so they don't get to experience that type of stuff in the game. So yeah. Yeah, I haven't done a GTA RP, and from watching it, I don't know that I would unless I was with the right group. And I have a lot of friends that participate in GTA RP and all that stuff. It's a little too main character syndrome for me. I love playing like a side character or a background character. Even if I'm responsible as a mayor or something like that, I'm not the best at anything. I'm not the blah, blah, blah. I like being the guy who adds color to a scene rather than being the main focus of a scene. I enjoy that because I don't have to be, I can be in the background for a lot of things. The ship is going to be the death of me. Insane. And reach the comes the dogs to chew me up. Little coyotes. Yeah, it depends your expectation what type of stuff it is. Yeah. And to be fair, crime and punishment is a constant work in progress over here. It's a concept that Bud has really enjoyed. And so we want to see it flourish, but we also constantly working on the best way to balance it, how to make it viable and not annoying, but also like fun, Because DimWorld does not have like a lot of super serious RP, you know what I mean? A lot of it's a lot of tongue in cheek, a lot of it's kind of contrarian a little bit, and stuff like that, But that's kind of what keeps it a little bit lighter. It's not so, oh my God, everyone's gonna die. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, and that's kind of what I was pitching a little bit in the support room was like, if you're gonna do community service, because it has to be a trade-off, right? Because part of the thing with crime inside DimWorld was like a risk versus reward system is like what we kind of want to develop, right? So you want to make it to where, hey, you don't have to do the crime, but if you want to, this is a possible reward, but it also the narrative could go this way versus this. And usually it's community service, which means you just have to subjugate yourself to like performing some remedial task for some duration of time, but it's nothing like heavy. But everybody looks at it like he tried to murder us, and so it's like he should be executed, you know. And I'm like, yeah, it's not GTA. You know, it's like we use, because there's no, even if we wanted to do that, there's not really a way to do it. And if you did do that, it's a little heavy handed for her. Oh yeah, I know who everybody is. I mean, I watched in TLS like Burke make the prison and do all that stuff with like people, and it was so grindy and all that. I could see a setting of a prison be interesting, but then you have other people that have to be there to make it make sense, right? You have prison guards that have to be there. You have all this stuff. I think some of that stuff can be initially fun, but I think it can be very wearing on people. So, because you got to do it from all sides and that. Their prison idea would look more like the movie Holes. Oh boy. Yeah. And you have to have people, the thing is too, Winter, you have to have people dedicated that want to do that type of gameplay. You know what I mean? And most of the time the cops they want to cool the batons, they want to do some stuff, and they want to play that character, but I don't feel like anybody wants to RP hard enough that wants to be, I'll be a prison guard every day to do this for a few days, or because you're going to get a constant flow of people wanting to commit crimes and feel that part and do that stuff. And literally your main criminal in the whole town has been like Cowboy, and then a little bit of petty crime from other people, and then Jason, obviously, right? And Jason's like a different type of crook where he can almost blow up a police station and apparently get a job interview. But I know, it was great though. It was fun how it twisted on itself. Yep. Yep. It was funny. Yep. Yep. You want to be chased, you want to leave evidence, totally. Yeah. Hopefully in future seasons we'll have a little bit stronger, I don't want to say stronger criminal thing, but a little more like system that's established, because we've tried out some things and we're like, okay, the expectation of like how the system works on both ends will be a little more laid out so people can choose like how deep they want to go and how light they want to keep it. And maybe if we can on the other side get a a starting police force, because it seems like it's always one of those things where it conflicts with people's real schedules, where you can have like the support system to support the police side of things off the jump to a degree where they have clear boundaries of like what they can and can't do, what they can balance out, how that all is going to work, the expectation of this. And then one of the things I've been pitching in the background is bringing back like what TLS had as a court system, but the court system would literally be, admin alts or something like that would come in like a circuit court once a week, so we could have that trial and have that fun RP. But it's not like it's only for the more severe cases. It's not like every single case you got to wait for the judge for it to be realized and go through. So you can still have that storyline. It gives the lawyers something to do, the people that want to play lawyers, and it gives all those elements there a little bit of more backbone to it. And I think that's important sometimes because there's certain roles we would love to see the RP stem from in there, Kuthi, but I don't think it should be a player role, if that makes sense. It should be something where like that character can bounce in, facilitate that environment for RP, but not be like a persistent character all the time that's right there. And I think a circuit court judge would be amazing. You know, like get Bodus to play, like have an alt character or something to be a circuit court judge who throws up on Fridays with this bailiff and stuff like that. And then those people have to show up for court or they get warrants issued or, you know, all that type of stuff. You could do something interesting like that. Yeah. 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 And then he could use us other support staff to fill in color characters. Like if he needs, like if Bodus was the judge, I could have another account that'd be his like bailiff guy or something. We only show up on those days of the week. Or if you have any of those things, you know, I talked about maybe playing a desk sergeant for the police in the future and stuff. So that way it just takes pressure off Trog. So I'm not in charge of anything. I'm just like, where's your paperwork? You know, that type of guy. It's like making sure the cops are doing their patrols. And if somebody comes to the police station, you have somebody there that's just filling his, you know, color in the background and stuff to make those things happen. And, you know, that way other people can still enjoy and do different things in the game. But you have that character just, you know, on standby ready for those moments that need to be, or it still makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, that's one of the things when as a criminal especially it ruins it because like when you're trying to do disguise and you're like, hey, that's so and so. It's like I can obviously see you so and so, and it's like the name plating sucks. I think that there's tools that are being or have been implemented where we can negate some of that stuff here in the future though. So I think that'll help a lot. But I'll be honest with Eco especially, I nameplate all the time because I forget people's names. I do. And it's like, I know this guy. He's and the minute they pull that away, I'm gonna be such a crunch. They'll be like, hi, Mo, and I'll be like, hi, George. I'm terrible with names. I'm terrible with names in real life, so. Yeah. Yeah, I do that in real life too, 100%. But yeah, I think aesthetically, I would like to see the names go away from over the head, especially like not even with the name plating issue. I'd just like to see them not there because it is a little bit distracting. They're already starting to support being able to totally by default turn off the entirety of the online characters. So we already have like asked people to turn this off. They've got settings now to where you can like force this to be offline, and so I would expect to see that in future seasons too, which I 100% applaud. How weird is it when you're down in your basement, either, you know, AFK because you have to use the bathroom or you're just like trying to do something else, and somebody comes up above your shop and they're like, Hi, Bo. You around? I'm like, I know you know I'm in here because I'm not at my shop. I'm over somewhere else. I'm like some remote location. There's no way you know I'm here. My vehicle's not outside or anything. I'm like, come on, you know. It happens a lot. Hey, I know you're standing right there. I just have this sixth sense of ability where I just know you're here. I'm like, come on. And not calling anybody out, but I see it happen a lot. Like, a lot. It doesn't help when you're streaming too. And then it's like people are like just like do. Hi. How did I know you'd be at the beach today? It's like, all right, I get it. Yeah. Yeah. Move off the thing. Son of a bitch. I noticed this bridge that bumped me onto here. This one. Thing's so heavy to pick up. I'm just fighting what I know I need to do. What I need to do is just empty it, pick it up, move it, but it's so. There's my camera. There's my camera. That skid steer needs a buff. Definitely needs a buff. Skids here, I highly doubt would move that, but we can try. I've never tried that. That's a good question. I mean, I can see somebody using a backloader or a thing to move something. I don't think it's actually moving it at all because it is a large barge. But yeah. Yeah. I think that's why I agree with Guthie though. The meta is not always bad, but I think you have to be very careful with it because the reason meta's like always been a rule with everybody is because you don't want to ruin somebody else's experience or gameplay or whatever else, right? But there's certain situations like when Cowboy was stressed out the other day, like I 100% was like, no, let's not do that, you know, because I know he gets really upset and all that stuff. Like when Darlene and Jason and everybody poured out of the police car, he had just almost been lynched and like, you know, had all this other problems and stuff like that. Sometimes just to save people the emotional trauma, I got to kind of character break and do that sort of stuff, you know? Yeah. Well, I mean, there's no way anybody else would know that, right? Unless you're there. So it's like, and I knew there was stuff going on and I was like, yeah, let's chill on that. What happened? Yep, absolutely. And usually it's fine and stuff. It's just at that moment it was a little bit. He was a little overwhelmed. I know. Yeah. Just to get it, he had just logged back in after like literally like he had half a town run at him. And yeah, it was, I'm not gonna go into details kind of arbitrary here. It was 100% something he did that pissed off some people and blah 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 with what he was building, and he didn't necessarily check with them and he didn't really think about it, but he wasn't trying to be malicious and it was fixed. But he got so overwhelmed, it was just a little much. And so he just logged in the middle of them, like, you know, basically yelling at him in character. And it was like really awkward because it was just too much for him. But he'd just come back in and then I see Jason, Mallory, and Darlene pull up. I'm like, oh shit. So Like, how do I say chill without being like, I was like, I don't know a good way to, I'm like, nah, let's just not. Yeah. Yeah, it's been a couple days ago now. So. But. Oh, this bridge. I don't think there's any way, like, there's no way I'm going to have enough calories to drop this thing. I'm just going to have to drop everything in my pockets and pick it up. It really sucks. I'm just trying to find a way to move it without doing it that way, but I don't think there is. Not enough space and desk. It's right there. There's plenty of space. Game being silly. It's so funny. In Eco, you used to be able to take shovels and like actually put stuff underneath, but now they don't let you really do that because that way you aren't like moving people's objects and knocking them over and stuff. But by them implementing that type of physicality where you can't really place an object underneath them anymore, they've caused a whole other slew of issues where people have to like literally be able to pocket and pick up everything in order to move anything, and that's also problematic. So I don't know. So today I started sketching out some ideas for like what the spaceship kind of format wise, what it should look like, I think. And originally I was gonna have the bridge or the nose of it point up, but and this is not exact, obviously. This is just a rough idea for symmetry and like dig out and stuff like that. But I'm originally I was gonna have the bridge point north. But I think it's better to have it point south, and I'll tell you why. Because we wanted to have agricultural and stuff like that, and I think, you know, it's going to be grassland biome, but this is a better region in here. And then we wanted to have some sort of aquatic part of the ship, so I think just encapsulating part of the ocean here would be cool, right? And then you have these pathways or roadways through it in order to facilitate travel inside the massive ship that's the size of 2 cities. And then... yeah, I think it'll be pretty neat. But this is my first rendition of like just having something on paper. So we'll see what everybody says. But and then this will be 1 floor, and then we'd have at least 2, if not 3 floors of that, and then we wrap the whole thing in flat steel, and there you go. But yeah. Yeah, you basically got to like Minecraft it out. There's no actual spaceship. Yeah. And we just, you know, make it look spacey and have to be creative with it and whatnot. And those sort of things. And again, this isn't a goal that we have to absolutely complete on a timeline. There's no pressure on that sort of thing. And it's just something fun to do. And even, you know, we'd figure it out either way. It just gives the longer term goal for everybody to work together and come together as a community. And then we can lead this narrative into season 3 of whatever happened from this to that. You know what I mean? They have a seed to them, and they're randomly generated, and you can regenerate certain seeds, but you're not necessarily going to get exactly the same thing. You also have some control over how many biomes per continent, those type of things, but you don't have like land sketch ability necessarily. There what used to be an old mod tool where you could. It broke a long time ago, but that tool used to be able to like actually like draw mountains and then it have what's in it and all that stuff. But here it's always got a random seed to a certain degree. So that way, if you're not choosing a specific seed code, you can always have variable gameplay because you never know exactly, you know, what's going to have what per se. Yeah, it took a few seeds to come up with this one that we thought would be good balanced. But you can choose like how many rivers per continent and they do this stuff, but then all of it's just generate like a dice roll and you're like, okay, that didn't look good enough. Click it again. Okay, we didn't like that one. Click it again. You know. Yes. Let's see. Really cool. So the intention is the next season will be a continuation of this season. Yes. But obviously this world won't be here. Right. Because it's always a new planet. But this kind of explains that transition, right? Yeah. Yep. They can do that, but it's also people have the option of like, you know, if say they want a different character or something, there's all those opportunities. We're not going to limit people saying that's it. But if you're one of those people that's like, well, the only thing I could say that would not be really widely accepted is if your narrative is I'm going to kill off my character and then you're going to try to bring him back for the next season. I always hated people doing that in Dark Side because they had to have their moment of death and then they want to bring it on. I'm like, that's cool. If you choose that fate, then please choose a new character, right? Like you don't just get a redo. Like, let's not do that stuff. Yeah. I'm not saying that's the policy the admins would have, but that's the way I'd do it because I just, it doesn't make sense that you die every season and you have a traumatic moment and do that. Like I saw so many people die traumatically in Dark Side only to be like, oh, so-and-so's back. And I'm like, why did you go through this whole milking emotional moment of all this stuff just to bring it back for next season? I'm like, Jesus Christ, guys. Everyone's making big, I don't know why they're so vocal, but I think it's because everybody wants to know they're valued. I mean, it's just, it goes down to basic human shit, right? They want to know they're valued. They want to know you'll miss them. They want to have all the good vibes, the hugs, the hug emotes, the heart stuff, and all this stuff. And I was like, yeah, in most cases that's 100% accurate, you know. But I just don't. It's like you get in this scenario in some of the RP stuff that I've seen where it's like the old movie trope of the man who gets shot and he takes 20 minutes to die on the floor to have his death scene. It's like okay. He's gone. Let's just let it go. I saw some people in Dark Side, and I won't say names, but they like got shot. They floundered in the hospital. They lasted how much, and then they finally passed away after like 2-3 days. I'm like, wow, that's a long death scene, bro. Like, if my character's gonna die, I'd much rather have that like surprise, boom, he exploded. That's it. Rip. You know, it's like, well, that's what happened. Yeah, there's that happens a lot, Kuthi, on servers too. It's like, I don't like this, so kill my guy off unless you submit to my demands. And I call those people emotional terrorists because that's what they're doing, right? Yeah. Yeah. My Navy character was called home after Siege of Pilot Island and then re-rolled as a pirate. There you go. I think those are safe outs, right? Like the safe out in DimWorld for this situation is like if people, you know, didn't know if they're gonna come back or they had to leave before they felt like the season's over or something like that, they can go to cryo sleep. That's what the out is here. It's like, you know, man, I'm gonna go on this trip with everybody, but I'm gonna be put in stasis, you know, or whatever else, blah blah blah. And by the way, F all you guys for trying to science me in that meeting in there. It's like I get people in the background going, but you know, the velocity of the spaceship won't be able to take. We don't care. We're making a block spaceship that can't fucking fly, bro. Like, don't bring me your weird science in here. And that's just not how it works. The atmosphere is too thick. That's great. We'll thin the atmosphere with pollution. That's not a thing. This isn't Earth. This isn't fucking Earth, okay? This is DimWorld. It doesn't look like Earth. You can't go down to Quebec's off Mallory Street. It's not, there's no Rizzo pizza. Come on. You know? I mean, I get it as a troll, but people like double down and stuff in there. It's like, that doesn't compute. Get the fuck out of here with that shit, guys. Come on. Suspend their disbelief, especially when there's no game mechanics behind it. I'd understand the argument if we're playing Space Engineers, right? If there's a Kerbal Space Program multiplayer, which still doesn't exist, if this is something like that, I get your argument. We're building literally a model of a spaceship that's going to be just wrapped in flat steel to make it look dope as a city that we're all going to, air quotes, take off in at some point. Just have fun. Make something creative and cool. You guys are all capable of. I've seen it. Don't go down this rabbit hole of like, wow, that's not physically how the fuck do you know? You've been on a lot of spaceships in your life leaving the planet when it's gonna get destroyed? I don't think so. So shut up. Shut up. Worst RP I ever had is robbed a bank in GTA. We all got away in change clothes. Later, a cop arrested me. Where I was saying our numbers over our heads matched. Oh my God. Fucking awful, man. Fucking awful. That's terrible. But that also shows some people like they want to take part in something. And, you know, you want to give everybody the opportunity to, but they have to understand in RP, you have to suspend not only your disbelief, but you have to suspend game mechanics. Like certain things, like you don't see that, man. You don't see the guy's nameplate floating over his head. You don't know that you can't die by a piece of dynamite in eco, so you're gonna treat it like you could die, right? I mean, there's some things you have to, you know, kind of roll with a little bit because it's a limitation of the game. Like just, you know, vibe with it. I mean, you can still make it funny and light, but at least give the guy who's trying to have a you know, a little bit of RP, give him some rope so he can go with his narrative a little bit. I'm not saying you have to submit to his RP because there is forced RP people do sometimes whether they mean to or not, but at least give the guy a chance to pitch his narrative a little bit before you just shut him down with like some And if you're going to shut them down with some other shit, not, oh, that's not possible to do in the game because the skid steer only has 6 slots and there's no way you're going to fit like that thing inside there or run me over because it doesn't work that way, man. I'm like, no shit. We all know that. Okay. Thanks for explaining me, Joe. Like, no shit. Oh, the biggest thing when that was happening, Kuthi, when I'm in there with Bo trying to teach Bobby and Darlene how to disarm dynamite, which is so fucking moronic anyway. It's like, go there, okay. Like, how do you explain to somebody you got to hit it with a hammer to disarm a stick of dynamite? Like, that makes a lot of sense. Come on, just get your tool out for your stuff and do that thing. And okay, now you just got to tap it gently. I'm like, what the? And meanwhile, outside, I hear the crowd going, if you stand right here, then you can hear the whole conversation. I'm like, bitch, you would be blown to smithereens. Get the fuck back. You should get arrested on being so close. Oh, so funny. Sometimes that stuff ends up being so comical to me. Anyway, I just have to stop and laugh at it in game. Because it's just, you know, it's going to blow up. All right, but if you get right by this window where the dynamite's at, you can hear what they're saying. Yeah, but those things are so hard to enforce, man. It's what are you going to do? Come out and the admin's going to pop out of the sky and be like, sorry, player, you can't hear all this shit because it's soundproof. People would still stand out there and just pretend they couldn't hear anything. Oh, I know I did. I was in the admin channel listening to half of it before I came out there. That was so good. I wish more of it would actually came through, like as the voice and stuff and all that. I was like, but the VoIP shit in game anyway. It was good though. Yeah. I would have blown the shit out of that place. I wouldn't care. It's not that hard. It's not as hard as you think, Kuthi, to recover that stuff. I mean, yeah, we do it and stuff, but sometimes if it's in a crime ticket or if the admins are like, yeah, go with it and all this stuff, you could, I mean, it could be fun to have those type of things happen. It wouldn't be good to use as a troll or maliciously or without oversight, but it could be fun for the narrative of that, I think. But yeah, I mean, we could be real about it. I mean, if we had to, you could even spawn them in. Like, oh, I got it from a shipping company in China. But we try to like promote the real in-game economy by buying stuff for all the people and all that shit. You know, people get too hung up on, you know, the aspects of everything. Where we want those economic things, we want everything in there. But in the end of the day, for a good RP session, good role play, is it that important? I don't know. Yeah, there's plenty of resources at that stage when that was happening anyway. I'm just fighting the urge so badly to pick this thing up. I want to, but I don't want to. I really wish people would treat vehicles like you couldn't pick them up. I understand scenarios like this one or when your car drives off where you're kind of forced to, but to straight up be watching people, like whether you're in fucking, you know, admin mode or not or whatever. By the way, I hate the fact the animation shows my tractor's still on, like it's, or my skid steer is just running gas. But to have people just sit there every day and just like la la la, oh, my tractor, boink, I'll pick it up, jump in my truck, drive over here, do 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 do. Oh, I'll throw my tractor down and then I'll drive it around and use it in my truck. Oh, it's time to go pick up my tractor, get in my truck. It's a fucking tractor. You can't pocket it. I mean, again, the only reason there hasn't been a law or rule made to totally lock that out is so when people drive off the road, you have a recourse. You should be actively avoiding picking it up unless you absolutely have to. You know what I mean? Now, a cart, I'll suspend my disbelief of you picking up a cart, because a cart, you kind of need it throughout all levels of the game. Yeah. Yeah, if it's upside down, if it's inoperable and all, 100% do it. But I've just seen people just use it out of convenience to do this. Every time Bo goes to get his tractor, that's half the reason he owns barges. He goes to go get the tractor, brings it to the site, takes a scooter back to go get it to his pickup, brings it to the site. I don't throw my tractor in the back of the pickup. Now, if you watch me play non-RP, fuck yeah, I'm pocketing that tractor, because it's not an RP server. But in RP, you're supposed to give a little bit more discern to, like, you know, that type of thing. I'm just saying. Because people do it and they have no qualms about it. They're just like, hey, well, you know, I didn't want to have to go back and forth. I'm like, but if you own all this equipment, what would going back and forth make you do? Well, if I have to go back and forth because the game makes me do it, then I'd probably buy some sort of piece of equipment to haul it back and forth, like a barge. I'm like, well, now we're talking about some interesting shit here. That means you need other equipment to facilitate what you're doing. Not, I'll put my tractor in my pocket, take a fucking canoe over, and I can do the same thing the guy in a wooden barge or an industrial barge can do, because I can just bring it there. So you're creating more need and usage. Yeah, this thing's so heavy. Yeah, have more than one vehicle. Right. Like, winter plays summer. Summer was out with me over here, and we had to go to the big emergency meeting, and Summer had to go AFK. So Summer sat in the truck already. So, which left me with the dilemma of, well, shit, I'm not going to just leave Summer behind, and she's in the truck, so I got to take her with me. So we drove, and I was driving around while I was doing some shopping. It got close to meeting time. So we had to have another player bring a barge to actually bring the truck over to the Academy Island, so I didn't just leave her there. And that's how it would work, right? Instead of people just picking up their car and throwing it in their pocket and then running over, you know. But even when I have this type of discussion about the car thing, I'll get some guy being jerk. He's like, "Will you show me in the rule book of DimWorld where I can't pick up my car and do that, and tell me the subsection paragraph it's there?" I'm like, it's the spirit of the rules. We're not going to sit there and write every aspect of everything down. It's going to get you banned? Probably not. But if you keep doing it, you're probably going to get warned about it and asked not to do it. I think that should be enough. You know? Gotta drop more tools. Worst conversation you never have with me is like, show me in the rules where it says. I'm like, yeah, okay, well, all you have to, you can find this part of the rule book real easy. You see it over there? Okay, what you do is you hit your escape key, and then you just go to the bottom right hand corner and just smack that button right there. That's all you got to do. And then you'll understand. You'll understand the rules real clearly. Real clearly. Fuck. I mean, you have to say that. And yeah, I mean, obviously each season the rules are going to be updated so that we can try, if it's a pattern, if you see a lot of people who are innocently doing something that you didn't really want to have happen and it wasn't intentional, then sure, modify the language more clear, because when we're in a room, it might make sense to everybody else reading the rules, like, oh yeah, that makes sense. But then you get somebody else like, well, I had the scenario happen and then I didn't realize this is a rule break and blah blah blah. It's like, oh, okay, well maybe we need to clarify that a little more. That way you don't have to repeat yourself all the time. But it's always going to be, the rules of a server are always going to be in the end of the day up to the admins if they think you're doing, you know, harm or good, or if it's just about you or whatever it is, that's fine. And they reserve the right. This isn't a fucking United States court where you can like sit there and say, I have the right based on the rules that I read to do what I want to do when I want to do it. That's not the way it works. You know? Slow your roll. In character, it's whatever, you know? But I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I have never got in a server and wanted to fucking argue the rules all the time in there. I would say, hey, maybe this, you know, this needs looked at, or hey, this is something here, you know, and to get their take about reasoning why. That's fine. It's okay to ask why. It's okay to have that discussion. But I mean, when you get sometimes people that swear at admins and tickets or messages and all this shit, how could you not expect to get in trouble for that? And yet, I don't know. I feel like that type of shit should just be instant whatever. But fortunately for y'all, you got some nice motherfuckers that are admins in here, because I would have kicked people instantly. Wouldn't even be a question. I wouldn't even asked. That would have been the dunzo for me. Imagine arguing with the admins that spent 3 months to put on a server for you about every aspect, everything doesn't benefit you. That's crazy to me. Crazy. Yeah, and discussion about it's fine, but the minute you start fucking cussing people out and being all hostile and accusing people of like all sorts of weird shit and bias and admin's gonna destroy the economy. Why would they want to destroy their own server? Think about that a minute. Like that, what? Like when one of the primary jobs of some of their characters is to seed the server with money. Like it doesn't make any sense. Like to help keep things flowing. Yeah. Look at the 50-year-old football. I love that line. I heard that. I was like, yeah. It's hilarious. It's like Bo in that scenario went from like, man, you might lose your building inspector license to like giving you a recommendation for the PD. It was so fucking crazy. I was like, this is awesome. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Yes. Get all my shit back in my hands. Turtle. Yep. Yeah, it's just that's why we have those crime tickets in the air, stuff like that, because it helps give guidance of like how you could do it to implement your idea and still it fit not only the world but mechanically fit, because they know that you're not as experienced with the game, so maybe there's some stuff you're unaware of or something else you could do or something like that. So that's why we love the creative ideas. The thing that drives me crazy is when there's been pushback about, not from the admins but from the players or something, or different people that might have filed a ticket previously of, and it makes the admins gun shy about allowing a creative idea. So for example, right, I don't know if I should talk about this, maybe I won't. As an example, if somebody had a creative idea to say like, let's to build a bridge that may or may not meet the exact building spec of what we have in the game rules, right? But it's a really neat creative idea, it'd be really cool, and so they want to give them special permission to. Sometimes the admins will say, nah, we can't, man, because we know that the community pushback after you've had Bo going out there being whatever like the whole time, it's gonna create a problem. And that, to be honest, it's almost what happened with the crypt scene, right? Because there was so much pushback about like the rocks overhead and how we wanted that to be a mitigating factor in like mines. It's like, hey, if you don't deal with these after repeated warnings about it, maybe not in the specific mine but just in general, or if you're the main transgressor of like creating these environments of like just rocks and everything destruction, just that way you can kind of not necessarily min-max, but you're kind of just like focused more on the gameplay of trying to get as much ore as possible rather than the RP implications around it, then shit happens. You get mine collapses, you get earth things, blah blah blah, that can occur. Not in a case where they're unrecoverable, but they can be more severe in cases than others. But then you have somebody like you have Greaves that wanted to have his event down there, and so then you end up with people, they're like, oh my God, well, look at his rock in there. It's like, well, he's got temporary permission to do that, and then it needs to be corrected immediately because he was the one who created that, but he was like the one who made this cool event that was going to happen. And so outweighed the rule versus the benefit of the community to do that. So yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, then it's like, well, it's all about favoritism and blah, 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 blah. And all that. I'm like, oh, really? Because I didn't get that from that conversation, but whatever, it's like, but again, it makes the admins and people gun shy about giving those creative licenses to people when they ask. And I'll say in most cases, the people that have been, back the hand slapped and stuff for a rule break or something like that, number one, are repeat offenders of rule breaks. Maybe not that one, but different rules, right? Number two, they never asked for permission to do any of it. If they would have asked it to get a creative license for something, maybe they would have done it. In the beginning of the season, both in and out of character, I've told multiple people, it's better to ask permission than ask forgiveness. And number three, it's usually a rare case scenario that those things are given because we want to remain consistent on rules across the board. But again, it's an RP server, right? It'd be like if Jason just decided he was going to get some dynamite and just blow up the police station without a ticket. That would probably go a little differently. First off, it wouldn't work because of the controls behind it. But secondly, it wouldn't have been a good narrative. He wouldn't have had as much fun, and everybody wouldn't have had a good RP experience without having that, assistance in creating your vision, so to speak. So. Yeah. Have there been a lot? I mean, there's a steady flow of them for sure. There's a steady flow. I wouldn't say there's like multiple every day, but I mean, I again don't try to look at all the tickets either. There's some I've gotten drawn into because of just because it either involved me in some way or shape or form or something else, you know. But I've gotten drawn into some. There are others, and then other ones I've recommended putting a ticket, like because maybe it's something like Bo's come out and inspected, and I'm like, yeah, technically this is against the rules, but I really like what you've done. The RP looks cool, the design looks cool. Put in a ticket and see if you get a special case, you know, permission for this. You know, like there's many times I'll recommend that. But if you come to me with flat out, I'm just trying to be a elite overlord and get the most out of this possible, so hyper efficient. I feel that. I know what that is because I play that way quite a bit. This isn't the server for that. Like this isn't that place. You need to be playing over with me when I play on Prime or one of the other servers or some of the other millions of servers that you can play on Eco on. But don't ruin the RP experience for becoming too sweaty or anything else over here. It just doesn't make any sense. Yeah. I'm fine. In winter, I have no problem with people disputing inspection stuff. If they're doing it in RP and they're not doing it in a ticket of, oh, I'm fucking being targeted, that's a little much to me. Do it in RP. Work it out in RP, man. Like, no. Let's work it out. So. Unfortunately, it just doesn't always go that way. I also think, unfortunately, being pretty soft-handed early on in the season, a lot of expectations were set. Like, if I do something, I'm going to get a warning every time. If I do something, I get a warning every time. If I do something, I get a warning every time. So whenever they don't get that warning and something just happens, they're like, oh, well, I didn't get my warning. I'm like, you don't get a warning every single time something happens, man. I'm sorry, but it's not. Because if you could do that, you could just walk it off. Like, I'm going to do the thing until I get a warning, then I'll stop. Anything. And that's not just mine stuff. That's like across the board. So before somebody thinks I'm talking about a specific person or instance, it has happened multiple times. Just most people don't know about it. I'm in that school of thought. The admins don't like to do that necessarily. So I'm just like, you know, because the problem is if you let things build up so far into the season and then you start, okay, now I'm going to start like cracking the hammer on it, then people are even butt hurt because their expectation is set to a certain premise, right? Like, oh, no, we've gotten away with it this far. This is fine. But then all of a sudden you bring the hammer down on people and then it's like, where the fuck's this coming from? And then they get pissed, you know? Right. I will say this. I don't think there's one person that's had anything collapse up to the collapse point that had not received a warning in some form, whether official or from Bo being there religiously and saying, oh my God, this looks really unstable, which is a warning, by the way. You know? Now. Oh my God. There are walls at Ocean Sand. Yeah, where's my warning at, Jason? I didn't get my warning over there. Son of a bitch. Yeah, I don't care. That's perfect. I didn't care. It was all good. I thought it was hilarious. I try not to sweat the small stuff. It's not a big deal. The spaceship's pretty big. I don't even know if it's the exact language, but I was going to talk to everybody about it today and see what they thought about a shape like this. So you could have the different sections. You could have the hallways. Then you have multiple floors of this and the bridge, of course. But just to get some sort of idea. And we can still, again, it's just a guideline to give an idea for dig out and whatnot. But I mean, we could do it however we want. I don't want to leave that shipping open. So I think I'm going to put my barge over here. So I catch up on the sand again. Come on, just back up. I lock it even though I'm hitting reverse. I love it. It starts hopping up and down, you know you hit the right spots. There we go. Nice. The rocket fun signs are killing me. Yeah, I know, Cat. I think I remember Rue. Oh, ah, that's fucking great. Ah. Nice. All right. Got check my Digo double G, and then we'll work some more on this thingy. Just a minute. Not a good place for me to go hide. Need an outhouse out here so you can just go in it. Be like, yep, gone for a minute. So I'll be right back, guys.
Gone quiet, no timber falls, no hammers ring, no echo calls. The river's still, the wind don't blow, and the seeds we planted, they'll never grow. I ain't mad, just sitting here waiting for the sky to light up, the world awaken. Server's gone silent, the town feels wrong. No friends to gather, no work till dawn. We just want it back, the way it should be. Building a dream, together you and me. Cart's still loaded, the mills run dry. No coal in the furnace, no stars in the sky. The roads
pale or fade into dust, and the game we love is covered in rust. No one to blame, no fingers to point, just fix the foundation, reset the joint. Server's gone silent, the town feels wrong. No friends together, no work till dawn. We just want it back the way it should be, building a dream together, you and me.
so slow I might grow a beard instead. The shore's a speck, just a dot in my eye. Feels like I'm rowing through molasses pie. Paddle and pray, paddle and plead. Lord, send a motor or a strong tail breeze. This endless sea, it's mocking me. Why's a canoe the only boat I could see? I packed some jerky and a warm flat Coke, but I ate it all quick, now that's the joke. The sun's so hot I'm starting to fry. Even the fish are laughing as they swim on by. Paddle and pray, paddle and plead. Oh, give me wings or a jet-powered steed. This ocean's wide, my patience has died. I'd sell my soul for a faster ride. Oh, I dream of a yacht with a fridge full of beer, or a speedboat engine just to get me out of here. But here I am with this stick in my hand, rowing in circles like a fool in the sand. Paddle and pray, paddle and plead. Lord, send a miracle or a submarine, please. I'm getting nowhere, stuck in this chair. If I don't make it, tell Ma I did care.
I wake up with the sun's first light, chasing dreams in a world so bright. Echoes calling, can't resist the sound, building high while the world spins round. Oh, echo, you got me hooked so tight, grinding hard through the day and night. Echo, you make my digital dreams true, a game of life, and I'm just loving you. Plant a seed where the soil runs deep, raise a town where the rivers lead. Trade my wares, watch the markets grow. Echo's rhythm, the only life I know. Oh, oh, echo, you got me hooked so tight, grinding hard through the day and night. Echo, you make my digital dreams true, a game of life, and I'm just loving you. I cut the trees, but I plant them back. Keep the air clean, keep the world on track. My machines may pollute, but this world I will save. Echo's the game that my soul now craves. Oh, echo, you got me hooked so
All right. That is a game mechanic. If you go into your map, Kuthi, you can use a zoning desk if you have access to one in a town or whatever, and you can draw on it for zoning. This is how, like with Motor City, this is how I make all the road plans and stuff. And you have multiple options. You can actually propose different things on there if you want. Or you can set it up to just executive decision it. This is how I designed the canal, all the roads, a Motor City, and then I had ideas of how I wanted the other roads to go. You know, and create them. Some will never be created probably, but other ones, again, they're just ideas. And then I can put them in a legend of how I wanted to organize them and color them and all that stuff. So what I did was I used the zoning desk today to actually sketch out what I think possibly the spaceship could look like. And then I can commit those to different layers on it. And then if I want to show it in my main view, that's what this little checkbox is for. So you can see it on your main view so you aren't inaccurate. Yep. But that's how, this is why it triggers me when people make roads and they don't use the grid, because this is the smallest line you can do. It's one claim thick, 5 by 5. So when they make it just like, oh, I just want a road here, it doesn't fit in this claim thing. So you can't accurately draw them like that, you know, because you can make them 5, 10, 15. So I prefer to keep them like that. But it's the same way that, like, we make sure people don't enable certain things like online citizens or vehicles and all that. So that way you can't see where everybody is, but people still do it. They'll just click the box and do it. But hopefully in the future, there's ways now that you can block that. So that way people won't be able to see where everybody is. They'll have to organically find out where they are. Yeah, you have to disable it. You go in there and you uncheck like vehicles. You just uncheck vehicles. The only ones I personally want there is economy, so I can see where stores are, and then settlements. So that way I just know which ones are actual towns, the little capitals things. Other than that, I don't need any of that other stuff enabled. Sometimes I'll have to turn on deeds so I know where the deed scroll thing is, the stake for each one. But usually not. Well, another thing you can do is if you know a store, right? There's two ways to do it. If you see it on the map, you can hover over it and it says right here, tooltip, control click to create markers. So you'll down control, click it, and then it'll make a little marker on your map. And then when I look, you see those markers out in the distance. I can see exactly where it is. There's Hardy Fuller store. And then if you want to get rid of it, you right click it and then you can just hit remove and it won't be in your HUD anymore. And you can color code it and everything else, all that stuff. You can also, if you have a marked spot that you found something good, you can stand on it, go to world layers, markers down here, and then you drop a marker and it'll drop one right where you're standing at or where you're looking at in the center of your screen. Right here is dropping in the center of my screen. Because I'm all the way up here. So it always, it's hard to see, but there's a tiny little icon like in the middle of your screen there. It looks like a little upward arrow type thing, and that's where the center of your screen is. That's where it drops everything. Yep. Another thing you can do is through the economic viewer. This is all the shit Botus hates me doing because he likes you to organically look at stuff, but I still look at the markets or thing. If I'm looking at here and I'm like, oh crap, they got the best deal at DF Miners, how would I, you know, find that place? I can click on that and it'll take me right to where it is. Then I control click it. Now I know where to go. And that's it. So all the stuff, where's R&R at? Same thing. Done deal. What are we trying to do? right. Sorry to get the dog go. Oh, let's see. Yep. About like 25 of those more signs and everyone was running out. Yeah. It's good. It's good policy to have. Oh my gosh. I was hoping Randy eventually would get some elevators in, but I don't think he's awake at the moment. He hasn't been up yet today. I'm gonna mute up and talk to the admins real quick and stuff. What is this? Oh, this has got to be old stuff. Yeah, or 4 years. But I'll be here working if anybody needs me. So, gotta go silent mode for a minute. sound's back. Yep. There you go. Yeah, it was a short conversation. Just had to have it. I think we're good on most of this perimeter here. A little bit of cleanup's needed over there. And then obviously go down more layers, but I think we might have to handle the bridge scenario for the parts of that. Yeah, I turn sound off quite a bit. Especially when I'm playing here, because then I got, you know, support questions and tickets and stuff and all that. Bum. I think if it warms up anymore, we're gonna have to start doing some outdoor walking streams with Duke. See how that goes. And you get outside and start walking again. Hey, puppy dog. What's up, bud? Come over to see what I was doing. Okay, good boy. No. I've gotten so many messages today. I don't even know what's going on.
Fingers raw, callous to the bone. Each strike a heartbeat. We're never alone, but the earth swallows everything we own. A shovel, a chain, and a curse in the air. No end in sight, just the weight we bear. Digging down deep, digging down low. The harder we work, the slower we go. Digging down deep, it's all we know.
man. No more room.
Tamping down the dirt we tread, and paths where no one's dared to head.
Valley
Through the valleys wide
and
and
steep.
still, up the mountains past the chill, paving the way through the dust and the stone, connecting the hearts of the places we've known. Over the peaks and under the ground, we won't stop till the world is bound. Asphalt dreams and gravel trails, bridges strong where rivers wail. Trade flows like a river song, through every road we've made so strong. Through the rain or the blazing sun, this work of ours is never done. Paving the way through the dust and the stone, connecting the hearts of the places we've known. Over the peaks and under the ground, we won't stop till the world is bound. Tunnel through where the shadows sleep, lay the stone where the climb is steep.
Hello.
Oh, hey, Bo.
What's going on?
How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Just out here whittling a little bit, trying to get the area prepped, all the good stuff. So, what y'all up to?
Well, Philippa told me, and Scooter told me that some sort of meteor's coming towards our Earth.
Oh wow, yeah, you didn't make the meeting, huh?
No, no.
I didn't know. It was
I
so
didn't.
packed. It was hard for me to tell who was there and who wasn't.
Yeah.
It was a lot. We had like over, I think it was 32 people show up to the meeting. It was a lot of people showed up.
Yeah, I would have been there if I could have, but
Yeah.
I wasn't able to, you know. Oh, and I got a gift for you too,
Oh wow.
on account that we robbed you
Oh,
the other day for gasoline.
You robbed me?
Well, I mean, kinda. We did. You were driving down the road, and I did have my bus in the middle of the road.
Oh well, that was a little more of a friendly stick up than a full robbery. I think that was all right.
I mean, yes,
Yes.
but you know, it I
Yeah.
felt bad about just being like, hey, give us your stuff.
I
right?
was financially compensated for that, by the way, but it was okay. So,
Oh, okay. Well, I made you this just as
Oh.
a way to say thank you.
oh wow! Holy crap, that's awesome! I'm gonna put that on my driver's license. It's so cool.
I figured, it tells the story of your meteor.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it was super dangerous. It was so I almost got creamed by that one. It was nuts. That was crazy souls.
Yeah.
Yeah, I almost got hit too.
Yeah, I heard that.
You
know-
guys both fought a meteor in one.
I know. I heard there's
Yeah.
even more than that. It's just some people didn't see it. Like Alma's farm got nicked by one over there. Like she got a big hole.
Oh wow.
And right when you go over the bridge heading to Motor City from here, it's like there's a huge hole on the right. You can see it where the meteor smashed everything there. I was like, oh my god. So apparently there were several strikes.
Scooter said we got a new fishing pond now out of it.
Yeah, there's a couple of them. Yeah, that one over there. There's one actually in the desert over, if you go like back where my old cement plant was, where the boys used to live, the Spit boys over there. There's a pond there too. I was like, what is this? That was the first one we saw a long time ago. Well, now I know what it is because I saw one up close. So
Yeah, it barely hit your cake.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
No, but yeah,
roasted
so
cake.
the whole plan is basically, of course, you know how the headmaster is. Ezekiel goes like, oh, we're all gonna die, and everybody's panicking a little bit and stuff like that. But basically the premise is we decide we're gonna build a spaceship. So that way we can all leave the world together, because the world won't survive the meteor shower that's
You know
coming.
what you get to do?
We
You
can't
know what you
hide
get to
under.
help with?
Oh, what did I get to help with?
Multi-level farming.
Yeah.
Oh,
And I
well,
got some
like,
clarification on that, actually, Scooter. So originally, I guess the headmaster misspoke because he mentioned vertical farming, which we were kind of like, what? Vertical farming?
Yeah.
But he meant hydroponic vertical farming. So we are going to be able to, yeah. So I was like, that's
Well,
much
see, I was
neater.
like,
Yeah.
Hydroponics makes sense because if you're in a spaceship, where are you going to get the rain from?
Right. I agree 100%. And then if we use it, like, actually I can show you guys, there was an example. Some of the scientists been experimenting with some of it, if you're interested.
Heck yeah.
Hey, Mr. Oliver, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. Just going to see how we're getting on up here and offer a hand if.
Oh
we need
yeah.
it.
Well, there's more to do than everybody can help for sure. There's lots of stuff. We're still in the digging phase. And also the good news is, since this isn't like, I mean, this threat could happen in a matter of weeks all the way up to months. It's not like, oh my God, we all have to grind it out in 3 days or something. You know what I mean? It's whatever. It's
Yeah.
pace yourself. Don't go crazy, but have fun with it. So the whole thing is we're designing the spaceship so that way everybody's department be represented, because there's all sorts of different stuff that's going to be needed along this whole space travel. Everything from food, farming, all the way to even, I was telling the mining boys, they're like, well, where are we going to mine in space? I'm like, asteroids, of course. So you're going to need a processing plant in there to mine all the space rocks. But this here, if you haven't been in this building before, this is the big think tank building that they built. So this is where we can meet, lounge out, and discuss plans for stuff. But they've done a couple experiments. They even gave us a printing press. So if we get designs that for the spaceship itself, like if we get an idea, we can print it up and put it on the wall and actually kind of go over schematics and stuff. So some of the more artistic people might have some great ideas and stuff we could all display and use as representations.
Yeah,
I'd-
my cousin's
like
pretty
to draw.
autistic.
Oh, wait.
Exactly. I'm very much
Yeah.
autistic.
Fantastic. All right. Well, down here is the hydroponic setup where they were doing some experiments, and you'll see varying experiments. We had Mr. Henson doing a vertical farm out there, and I don't know. I got to talk to him because I think we're going to go with this instead.
Oh, that's very nice.
Yeah. So something like
Okay,
this,
so-
and we can do multi-level and maybe incorporate the use of pots. So that way, as you can see, some of the things don't survive so well in an enclosed environment. But if we pot them, I think we'll be able to have representation of all the plants and that type of flora in the ship. So that way we can do whatever we need.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I definitely think this is maybe too. So like, okay, when you're
Mhm.
farming, right?
Yeah.
This is too much water for the plants, right?
Yeah.
Like this is in excess. You're gonna drown.
Mhm.
Like, okay, imagine you were this beat over here, right?
Well, that's the thing though. They're just experimenting right now. These can always just be shut off and only turned on once or twice a day.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah. Like, because
But
we'd have
I
to
definitely
adjust
got
it.
some ideas for it.
Right, and that's part of the
Maybe,
thing too. And those people that need to go to sleep for the trip, it all wire into like our cryogenical cycles and stuff. So that way, if people need to go to sleep, they're still going to be able to fly with us to where we need to go. And what
Yeah,
we'll
I
be able to
wondered
do,
about all the people that were asleep already, like what we were gonna do with them.
well, we're going to squeeze them into cryopods, of course, if they want to go with us. I mean,
We're
that's
gonna, we're gonna leave them with Robin.
That's what I was thinking was gonna happen. Was maybe they.
Yeah,
could be
I think Robin's going to want to go when he sees like some of the ideas I got for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we're going to
That's
need a
good.
morgue, and the minute somebody mentioned about maybe having some of his butchery incorporated into the cafeteria system, he got really excited. So I don't know. I think he might want to go anyway.
I've had the sausage over there one time, and
Yeah.
it tastes real funny. I'm not sure we
Yeah.
want to be using him for a butcher.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's made with bodies.
Oh.
It's made from people. You don't want to eat it.
It's fine. It's fine.
Well,
You've always got
Oh, but I mean, they say you can't take it with you, but maybe you can. You never know. We'll have to see. I mean, if I
Like-
get hungry
like
enough,
it's-
whatever works.
Let's say I died and then they put meat into a sausage. It would be so sweet on account of the cake.
Yeah.
You would know.
Well,
You
how-
would
got the cake
know.
covered.
How would you turn that down? I mean,
we can always take Billy Bob as a butcher.
true.
Yeah, but I don't want to be turned into sausage.
Well, then you just
I
put
like-
that
I
on
like
your
how you-
package, and then that'd be okay.
You started
What?
showing the cake, and Niall came over to this side.
Oh, is he afraid of the cake?
No, I think he wanted to see the cake.
I think a better view, maybe.
I think he might be afraid of a scooter.
No. Just got itchy feet.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this thing. That's
Yeah.
fancy.
Yep.
This is fancy.
And we're still going to
Is
need
this
to
how you're
upgrade
gonna
some stuff
freeze
here on the
people?
planet too. You know what I mean? Because we might be living here, who knows, in our 6-8 months. We don't know. I mean, it's like we're still going to have like activities, events, gatherings, races. You got to have stress relief out here. You can't just like be like, oh, whatever, but
Right.
and work all day and all night on the ship. So we gotta kind of pace it.
If
Got
I
it. Moderation.
Yeah.
if I have designs, I need to make them in the printing press and give them to you.
Well, you don't need to, but it'd be nice to have some ideas and schematics. Sure, why not? Yeah, we could
Okay.
do that. And it'll be, Daisy. I think Daisy departs tomorrow because she's going to go on a
Yeah.
forward operation. We're putting in her a rocket, and her
where's Daisy
vacation
going?
is we shoot her off to like go see the planet.
Daisy's going to Daisy's going to the new planet to check it out. That
Yep.
way we know we can survive there.
Yep.
Oh, that's probably good because I don't think Daisy likes me very much on account of how Ezekiel acts around me.
No, I don't get involved in all those things. Maybe not.
You
I
know,
think she's fine.
every once in a while, I hear,
Put an
"Ooh,
ooh sign up. Yeah, next to
what?
your cake picture.
What? Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
Well,
Well, are they gonna hire Jason instead then?
for what? For the
To be
reporting?
Daisy.
I don't know.
I heard Jason's gonna dress like Daisy until she comes back. From what he said.
Oh, I like that idea.
Oh, well, that'd be
I
interesting.
think Jason make a fine Daisy.
Could be. We
Yeah.
have
No,
fake
and
Daisy
their
around.
letters are the same, right? Like 5 letters, D-A-Z, and
Yeah,
Jason. That's 5 letters.
that's true.
Sure.
That's true.
So I think
Mhm, mhm.
it works really good.
Yeah, they even got a coffee bar here for when you need breaks and stuff, so you can like chill out and have
Oh.
discussions. That's good.
Well, if I could stock the coffee bar, I would, but I only make the pre-ingredients.
No.
I
Well,
make black coffee. That's all I make.
there you go. Well, there's several food carts and stuff out there too, so that we got all that stuff represented. And you can see up here, this is
Oh,
the
maybe,
storage and
Scooter, you take your food cart,
Oh, wow.
Smogopoly and bring it over here.
Oh, yeah.
People
Oh,
alcohol or something.
yeah, all the storage and stuff. They got some of our lab projects and research going on up here, so that way, for all the experiments and whatnot. We have a field out there where I know Miss Flippett, she set up another cookery out there along the little roadway we set up, so that way we can get more food here. And then there's several food carts outside to help keep the workers fed. So, and I've been authorized to
that's
help
smart.
pay day laborers for drilling and mining and digging out the thing. So if people need a little extra money for doing that, I can help out with that. And then we also have some other purchases that I'm hoping to make from some of the industrialists and some of the other people around, so that way we can get them for the spaceship.
Yeah,
How far down are you guys trying to go?
Well, we originally thought we might need anywhere from 3 to 4 floors, and each floor would be 10 meters tall.
Wow. All
that's pretty
underground?
big.
Not all underground. We figure we split the difference, right? So you get like dig down some,
Okay.
so that way we can build it, and then we wrap the whole thing, and the whole thing exterior has to be in flat steel.
Yep. And then you could put your entranceway even with the ground, so people aren't having to climb up or nothing.
Right, exactly. So you could do that way, or you can have ramp up. It really doesn't matter. It just depends aesthetically, like what we all want to do. The other thing is each area and department, we're going to need multiple teams of people to help work on. So once we have even a skeletal frame, people can start designing it. So the interior can be made of a composite, ashlar, lumber, different areas, stuff like that. It doesn't have to be like everything's cold steel, because it's somewhere we're going to have to
Did you
stay
say
in for a while.
composite?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that makes
Yay,
sense.
My investment isn't going into nothing.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, Niall, Bo's gonna need one of them frames that you make.
What frames?
Picture
Like,
frame.
Can't you make a picture frame?
Oh, the picture frames. Yeah, the picture frames. I can do that quite easily.
Yeah. Yeah, I made him a nice photo on account. We what'd you call it earlier, Bo? Friendly highway robbery.
Yeah, it was a friendly what do I call it? Not a robbery. I called it a stick up, friendly stick up. Yeah,
So-
friendly stick up.
Do you have like a public affairs person out here taking pictures and stuff while it's going?
No, I got a camera, but I'd welcome more pictures and stuff for everybody, kind of keeping documenting the progress would be
yeah.
really cool.
Mhm.
So especially since
that
we
would
don't
be
have
cool to
Daisy
make
over
a-
the next week, it'd be really nice to have some photos
Right.
and stuff. Yeah.
And in the
Well,
spaceship,
I mean-
you could put a whole room that has the pictures of how we got to the spaceship.
Oh,
Yep.
Yeah.
We're
Mhm,
also
mhm.
planning on taking some of the museum stuff with us, so we're even going to need like a chronological like museum wing in there, so we bring some assets with us so we can keep our culture and stuff.
So
Yeah,
I got a really important question here.
Okay.
Right. This all sounds like a lot of weight. Like steel is a lot of weight. We got the people. That's a lot of weight. Like how are we gonna get the fuel to get this off the ground? Are we just gonna feed Rodney a bunch of Gatorade? and hope he blast us off. And
I
we
think
make a rocket ship
some of
afterwards.
that's the way it's going to work. The other part's going to be a lot of science that I don't have to worry about in that part, but we just want to make it. It's more about
Hold on. What Ezekiel says? What is it? Science.
science.
Oh
Will
yeah.
do it. Yeah.
Science.
Yeah. The one thing you didn't
Yeah,
miss in the meeting was when several people tried to science nerd me on everything, and I was like, you know, I get it, but you know, science will make it happen. It doesn't have to be, you know,
Yep.
atmospheric dynamics and thermodynamics and all that. I don't know
Right.
that.
Scooter told me.
Greg had the most important question though at the end.
Yeah. I
Oh my
remember.
God.
You told me
He
about
wanted,
this
he
one.
wanted to know about the male to female ratio.
Yep, and that concluded the meeting immediately for me, and I was like, I'm good. We're gonna move on.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I said
Oh,
it's a shame. It's a shame I wasn't there because I would have said I'm all the woman we ever need.
there
you know,
you
but-
go. Perfect. No, but this
But,
is
yeah, no.
odd.
So why is that odd, Scooter? I mean, you get the grannies.
Yeah, I haven't seen them in a while. They've been asleep
I
for
know
a
I
minute.
miss them. You know, I'm
Yeah.
hoping we're gonna make sure that they're along on the trip.
Of course. They go a lot. We might have to put special cryopods in the museum section because they are like over
Yeah,
300 years old.
They are pretty old, yes.
Yeah.
You know.
So, and
But, you know,
we
that
need the
doesn't
cryo
stop
technology
Scooter.
for Ezekiel himself anyway, or else he probably wouldn't make it there.
Well, yeah. I mean, he's not as nearly as old as the grands.
No.
He might end up. He might
Honestly,
end up
I
as
think he's
some of,
hexed. I think he. I
Rodney
really think he's
sausage or
hexed.
Robin sausage.
Oh,
Oh no.
he could be.
I think he's hexed to never die.
Well, maybe.
Who is Ezekiel?
Yeah.
Well, how'd that happen?
I mean, he did. Like, what was it? I heard he pushed one of the grannies in the ocean or something. I don't know.
I thought that were Rodney.
Is-
Yeah,
Was it Rodney?
that was Rodney.
Yeah.
Rodney.
You see, this
has
is the
been-
thing. This is why I need to get out more.
Es-
Well, it's also
Ezekiel would stay alive because of science.
yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
The
Oh, yeah,
reason
it's Rodney that can't die. Yeah.
yeah Rodney's one of those people too that like gets a lot of telephone games played with him. So everybody's like, oh, it was so and so and so and so. By the time you hear it, it was a frog who jumped over the moon and did weird stuff. You
Well,
know,
and
people
that's
get the
why-
story screwed
Exactly.
up.
That's why I say we can use Rodney. Like, this is his way for paying us back for everything they done wrong. We just fill him up with that Gatorade, and then he blasts us off into outer space, and then he
Maybe-
can catch up on his own rocket ship,
Somehow I
you
have
know?
this very disturbing picture of
Alright.
Rodney hooked to tubes and stuff where they extract the gas and use it as
Yeah.
propulsion. So I don't know if I'm comfortable with that, but maybe.
Why is this wrong, Bo? Tell me
When
why
you-
it's wrong, because it don't feel wrong
Well,
to
no,
me.
we just give him a special cryo tube. It's just
Yeah.
a special cryo
just-
tube.
We just set up a sensor belt,
One extra pipe.
like a treadmill, and all of his energy on the treadmill can power the rocket. ship.
That's true. It
and he
might.
just stays there forever.
It
I
might.
honestly thought we would just use him in a porta potty and have him, just blast us off.
Well, I
and,
mean, to be
your
fair, if
guys'
we
ideas
don't
are
tube
all
him
good
up,
too.
he could sit inside a cryo tube and maybe get a decompression with all the gas that builds up
Yeah.
in there. So we need to extract it anyway.
Yeah.
I saw the weirdest
this
thing
is-
earlier. This one right here, there was a fox that came over. I swear, I saw this fox come over here like this, and he literally kicked this cart over and then ran off that way. And I was like, I've never seen such a crazy shit in my life.
You sure? Right.
It was a
You've been
little
hallucinating
tiny fox.
recently.
It wasn't one of these wolves. It was a little fox, little red fox came over here and goes beep,
You-
and it's like that was it.
Are you sure that you are hydrated and not having headaches?
I might have got too close to the gases inside in one of the experimental labs. I could have been.
Oh, it's fine if I bring a shop cart down here full of booze.
I don't see a problem with drinking all over the job. I mean, do you, Digbert?
Oh, hi, Digbert.
He might.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah, that a fox ran up and kicked that over.
Oh, really?
I've never seen him before in my life. He was like right here and he goes like this and he goes, eh. And then he runs off this way. And I was like, okay, the aggression of animals may be over the top now. They're attacking shop
And
carts.
apparently,
Good.
the foxes
Fix the
don't.
carts.
Yeah, it don't like charred food is the thing.
I
Like,
guess
it's
so.
funny.
Maybe that, or they said, hey, I don't have enough derps in my pocket. And they just,
Yeah, that could be it.
yep.
get out.
Yep. Get
Well,
out of here. So I had an idea for the shape of the spaceship. I don't know if you guys like have seen it yet. And what I did was I decided, and this is just rough guess, this isn't in stone, but if you look at your maps and you look at your district maps, I have one under the maps called spaceship layout. And I started to sketch maybe what it could look like a little bit.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
Okay.
Although I got to tell you, Bo, the bottom of that looks a little suspect.
Well,
Yeah,
it depends
looks
which
a
one's the
little
bottom.
like
Well,
The south.
the southern side.
Southern part.
The southern part is actually the top. It's the front.
The front.
you should curve the
see-
outsides a little bit, and then it would be nice and rounded on
Well,
the sides.
if the
and
ca-
then
if
it
the
would really
if
look
it,
good.
if squares allowed me to curve it, I might do that. But they don't. It doesn't work too good like
I mean-
that.
Sir, you have seen the lighthouse. It's a perfect circle. How dare you?
Well, I mean, depends what material. And I'm saying it's a rough sketch of just what we need to dig out for it. We can make it whatever we think. You know, it's not like that. But I was just thinking bridge area and something symmetrical. That way people just aren't digging till Neptune. We know exactly where the
Right,
perimeter
right.
would be. And since...
I mean, I'm just saying it looks a little suspect, but I'm not opposed to it.
Okay. All right. Well, as long as you don't have a problem with it, I'm good. That works for me. Yeah. So anyway,
Oh,
the...
I know
What
what
you
we
got?
could call the ship in,
Oh, boy.
right?
Yeah.
We
Oh,
could call
boy.
it- Oh, we could call it sausage party.
Sausage. Oh, boy.
That's,
You know,
that's not good.
Yeah, I know.
right? I
No,
mean, we're
no.
gonna have robin sausages. It's gonna look like a sausage in the ship,
Mhm.
and then what Greg said,
Yeah,
what together.
maybe. I don't know. We'll see what the headmaster says. Who knows? He might go for it because you could probably sweet talk him into anything at this point.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, maybe.
Which I think I just saw him drive by.
Yeah, he is.
Was
He's
he around?
hauling. He's loving this construction. Look at him. He's been moving and shaking
yeah.
and grooving and
Look at
baking
the
and
headmaster. He's all hard at work.
yeah, he is.
Hey,
Or
You
He
can
does
say he's rock hard at work because he's all with those rocks.
oh yeah, definitely.
Yep.
I mean, they're
Wait,
crushed.
whereabouts?
So
What's he doing with the rocks?
He's bringing them over there so people can buy them, and we're selling them.
Yep.
The Academy selling them super cheap, so that way it can go into production lines. It's like 2 cents for the crushed, and like a
there's
penny for
Rodney.
that.
Let's,
Yeah,
let's
Rodney's
tell
here.
Rodney what we think about the fuel.
Yeah, Rodney.
there's no we in this.
This is
Okay,
a
sure,
Clo-
Rodney,
selling
we
it
No,
even
even
this
though
is
it's not
all
my
you.
fault.
No, Clover's got a theoretical way how to power the spaceship propulsion system. It involves you.
Yeah. So
Oh no! I'm not getting on the hamster wheel again.
don't
Yeah.
run me.
Well, that was just one
See, you know
idea.
the idea.
That was one idea, but
I'm not getting on the hamster.
no, this
No,
one
that's
involves
not me. I got a
involves
great
tubes and
idea.
gases.
Yeah,
What?
yeah. So okay, so we set
Let
you
her
up
tell you the
on a-
idea.
underneath a spaceship, right? And then we feed you just so full of the Gatorade stuff, and then you blast us off into space.
You know that
Look
makes
out,
my
Scooter.
foot hurt. That doesn't give me gas.
Well, what does give you gas? We could always concoct something, I'm sure.
Rodney, it's like 120 corn per one. Of course it gives you
Potatoes
gas.
and cheese. I'm about
You'll be
to eat. You're
blasting
probably not
off.
food.
All I heard
don't
was
think he liked
potato
that
and
idea.
cheese.
It's okay. He'll be asleep most of the time anyway, so we'll just plug him up. It'll be all right. We'll make it work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Must be the
great,
loaded
man.
terror fries.
Yeah.
That Rodney. Well, Bo, so if
Mhm.
you came by maybe in a day or two, maybe we'd be day laborers then.
Sure. I mean, whenever you get time, it's the whole thing. And we'll have we have equipment here. If you don't have your own equipment and stuff, like we can loan tractors. We
we
actually
ain't
have
got-
extra trucks. Mhm.
It seems like there only been one cook buying from me lately. I haven't seen many of the other cooks that used to purchase things, so we ain't got the cash like we used to.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, and that's what I'm
So
saying.
we-
Over
we
here,
get
you'll
the
get
money for those
paid. You'll get
engineers.
paid for your labor stuff here and everything else,
Yeah.
and you can generate your own revenue too by just making purchases and reselling them. Some people are buying the crushed and everything else at like a nickel to a dime, and the Academy's just selling it at a couple pennies. That way you can get it out there so you can flip and make money. I think I was helping Hubie. I don't know if you know Hubie, who lives on my town, because he's just an unskilled laborer and he likes to do stuff. I loaned him my transport. He made 610 derps yesterday from nothing.
Oh wow,
Yeah, just hauling stuff around all day, having a good time.
that's a,
Nice.
that's a good thing.
Yeah,
We made
so
one grocery delivery and we made $60.
there you go. Yep.
But that sounds nice too.
I made one delivery and I'm down 600.
Yep. I know how that is too. But no, there's lots of
We might
opportunity,
do then.
and we're
If-
also
if
going to
gonna
need
do some transport. We might go buy one of them industrial barges.
mhm.
Oh,
If you get one, I'd
Do
get
we
one
have-
from Denny and or one of those fellows, because like for example, Denny was selling them. I bought mine from for 1,000 derps.
Oh, okay.
oh yeah.
Yeah,
got-
'cause-
we
Not too
got
bad.
one health tonight.
Well, yeah, because I think Gilroy was selling them or something. Somebody was selling them at like 2,500, and I was like, nah,
Yeah, that-
I'm good.
that was- yeah.
No,
Seems like
that's
when
that's
these
too much.
first come out,
Yeah.
they're way overpriced. So
Well, considering the only thing you need from modern equipment is the nylon rope, the rest of the stuff you can get from like a regular mechanic to build the ship. Yeah,
yep.
yeah. It doesn't take an advanced engine in those. A lot of people think it does. It does not.
Mhm.
So, and skid
Yeah,
steers
I've
are already
been-
down
I've been
quite a
trying to
bit.
get I've been trying to get a lot of copper and gold out there for
Mm-hmm.
people because I know that'll be needed.
Oh, absolutely. That's going to be needed and bought and stuff like that and paid for sure. So we're trying to keep the same economy going that we're doing, and then influx money for people that are assisting in different areas, and then we'll start buying up different goods to start the thing. What I'm really excited about is see everybody's creativity, so we can get people assigned in sections to work on different facets of the ship. So I mean, I'm helping just organize those people so all your creative ideas can go into it for the design.
Yeah.
Mhm,
If I got if I got an idea,
Mhm.
I make a blueprint of it, and then maybe I make something at my farm to show you.
That'd be cool. I mean, we have areas out here that people are doing, like outside this signage and stuff, where people are doing little modeling and little lab setups and stuff. So if they want to have something on site for reference, they can do that. Like you got over there, Jens Henson's he started work on the vertical farm stuff. But like I said, we'll probably just go with the hydroponic thing because I think it's space saver.
Hydroponics is the way to go for sure.
Yeah. Although it would be neat to be able to drive a tractor in a spaceship on a small plot of farmland, just because that's kind of cool. I just think that, the hydroponics is a better system.
Maybe for
Yeah,
maybe for like the larger things like wheat and stuff where we need quite a
Wheat or
lot of it,
corn
maybe,
or
like
something
some
like that. Yeah, I
ground-
could see it. Yeah, yeah.
ground farming, but
I
like
don't think
beets
it
and stuff.
works here that well, but
Mhm.
they have horizontal farming now too.
Right.
You ever seen that where they put the plants on the walls and then you can harvest from the walls, which is kind of crazy sounding, but
Yeah.
with on account we be in a spaceship, we could use gravity to harvest from that.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it'll have, like they asked in the meeting about, well, there won't be any gravity. I'm like, well, we'll put the flux capacitor duplicitous drive in, and it'll make gravity happen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
science. It.
Science.
Yeah, them crazy folks are wanting a big old circular spaceship. I'm like, we can't be building stuff like that.
I mean, we could,
I mean,
but why give the headache? I want creative, cool looking stuff.
Right.
We're essentially wrapping two cities into a spaceship, because you're gonna need living quarters, hospital, medical bay. You're gonna need all that stuff, and people can do all sorts of things. I even told Mr. Greaves we're gonna need a morgue. You know, you gotta have some sort of cool morgue. I just don't want it right by the cryogenics room because I don't want to get confused.
Mm-hmm. I'm assuming the morgue's going to be in the industrial section, whereas the everyone else is going to live in like the nice accommodation section with a big like storage area between them.
I would hope so, or near the medical wings too, so that way if you came out of cryo, you'd be, helped out that way. And then you have a living area, because people are gonna have to rotate awake to maintain things like hydroponics and stuff like that, right? Like everybody's not gonna sleep the whole time, but some people might choose
We're
to.
gonna be hot bunking.
Yeah.
Oh.
oh my god, I gotta share my bunk with Scooter.
No, I think we'll have
Yeah.
enough. If you look at the size of this thing, I think we could almost make it like a mini condo, like apartment section and all. I think you could have all that.
Honestly, I don't mind sharing the bunk with anybody that
Well,
I've
not,
ever
well,
been
not
with.
just that. it's
Except for
not
Rodney.
like
Hmm.
it's not like everybody needs their own bathroom, right? We can have
Right.
He can have a bunk
communal
of his own.
communal bathroom and stuff.
Absolutely. Think dormitory or living space with common rooms for entertainment.
Absolutely.
And the other reason I want the bridge this way is because I thought about having an environmental section over here, because we're gonna have to take like a fish aquarium type thing with this for some of the fish farm stuff.
Oh yeah.
About that,
Mhm.
about that, the way I'm thinking about the hydroponics is you incorporate the fish in the planting because they give nutrients as well when they
Oh,
poop,
that's so smart. Yeah.
and
absolutely.
then it can go into the plants, and then you got both the fish and the plants all together. It's
Yep.
space saver.
I think that makes sense. But we also want entertainment,
so-
right? Because
so,
you're gonna get
uh,
bored up there while we're going around. So I actually want to have like part of the water over there, and it'll get piped in and through, and we'll just encapsulate that part of the ocean, so you'd actually have like a live aquarium too. And then what we could do is we could have jet ski races and stuff inside the spaceship.
Oh, on the spaceship.
Yeah, of
You
course.
gotta stay busy.
Gotta stay
Yeah,
busy
I
entertaining.
know that
Creation.
I now think we should, if we're gonna do that, then we need to put like a ring around the entire like spaceship that
Mhm.
on the internal that you can just do like
Or
ring races around
You could.
in jet
you could
skis.
just be on the outside and sealed in with glass, and then you would be like racing in space.
Yep. You'd be racing
Ooh.
on water in space. How cool is that?
Yeah.
So really all it is just a matter of outlining the thing, encapsulating that, and then there you go, and then you start to build from there. So the bottom floor would be agricultural, and the hydroponics floor along with the aquatic section, and then you go up to the next floor, and that would be something more like living quarters and some of the other utility stuff, and then you go up to the next floor. So this thing could have like easily 3 to 4 floors where we're done. We just need to kind of design it out. The only thing I've done is the perimeter and where the main walkway roadways would be on that, and then we just stack it.
And then you pipe all the toilets and everything down to the hydroponics area for
Yep.
fertilizer.
There you go.
Yeah, more fertilizer.
Yep.
Well, Bo, I appreciate you showing us around.
Sure.
Yeah.
We definitely will come help out
Awesome.
this weekend.
Okay.
So I hope to see you then.
Yep.
And, you know, I hope you like your photo, and
Oh, I love my
I'll
photo.
work on some blueprints.
That'll work. That'll work. That'd be great. And then maybe we'll be able to incorporate other people's ideas too, and get some more prints as we go along if you want. I mean, it's whatever people want to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
Yep. I'm
I like it a
excited.
lot. Well, you
I'm
guys
also
have a
excited.
good
It's
day.
gonna be awesome.
All right. You too.
We're gonna run off. I got some deliveries to make.
Oh, absolutely. You got to keep the wheels
Have
of
fun.
churning throughout the whole world.
Exactly.
Hmm?
Scooter, do you remember where we parked? Because I totally don't.
Yeah, I think we're right over here.
Okay, bye everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye. Hello.
Hello.
Question.
Yeah.
I was wondering, have we had any idea of like what we're doing with, say, the water and biomes that we're gonna try to recreate, like desert, forest, stuff like that? Do we have?
I don't know if we're going to
any
try to
idea of-
recreate all the biomes rather than obviously extract goods from those biomes and find ways to preserve them in spice. But I think the main biome, just for
Okay.
simplicity, would be have the biomes that are representative here for any like living, growing type things and whatnot, and then have those other things represented, because we could put them in sort of stasis with pots and things like that, and just make cool, functional displays of certain things, I guess, is the school of thought right now. The water
okay.
aspect, definitely, we're going to need piping. We're going to need some aqueducting. We're going to need all kinds of, different types of avenues of that in order to make this a functional type aquatic section, and then have the other area of that be like a little bit of a farming section, agriculture. And then I think we're also going to include hydroponics off that, so that way the water would circulate into the hydroponics and throughout the ship where it's needed, and just kind of cordon off that. So we're just trying to come up with all the different departments and then work that into the overall spaceship design. Because right now I just did a rough sketch. It can be still altered or whatnot, but that was like in the district plan with spaceship layout, and that'll kind of get you the overall perimeter we're thinking. And then there'll be multiple floors of that, each floor being around 10 meters tall to accommodate any type of equipment or multiple levels or anything like that. And then do something like in the neighborhood of 2 to 4 floors, depending on, you know,
Okay.
it'll be really robust. But I think for simplicity, and you might agree, the bottom floor should be the agriculture and water, so that way it's not trying to make water go uphill, so to speak. It'd be much easier to have it be on the base floor, wherever that ends up, and then either spill in and contain it that way or whatever, and then spread it out evenly across that area.
Yeah, I kind of had an idea. I wasn't sure if that main area was going to be more the center of the ship, so like kind of people can go and walk around the more nature side of things, and not be surrounded by everything industrial all the time.
Well, that's
So
part
I
of the
was
reason we
thinking-
want to leave it 10 meters high. So that floor is very open, so to speak. You know what I mean? So that way you have that, you can go in there and you can feel the scale and the grandness of it, and you don't feel so encapsulated. We might even paint the ceiling blue. Who knows? You know, like, and double layer the floor. So whatever can make it feel, you know, as much planet-like as we can. So that way, when you need that break mentally, you can enjoy that.
Yeah. Because like the idea I was thinking of, it came to me kind of while I was dreaming. Like, let's say this is like the center point where I bring the water in through here. I could pump it in as like a fountain or geyser type of look, and then I can even branch off some like rivers from that on the bottom floor, going in each direction, and have little bridges walking over them possibly, so people can still get around. But then the water can just be used to help plant any crops in that area. So
I'm
you
not
have,
against
like,
that.
the water starts here.
I think we definitely want some sort of park or whatever. The problem we're going to face, though, is like if we wanted any type of full-grown tree or anything with the 10-meter ceiling, it's going to be really rough to actually have any, you know, tall plants like that. But this right here should be the main spine that goes from the aft, which would be ocean facing, to the bow, which will actually be southern facing on that side. And then we have airlocks that go crosswise. One, that road that cuts through would be one. And then another road here on the tail end towards the ship here. And then I'm thinking 4 freight elevators, 1 on each, you know, bow, and 2 on each bow and aft. And then this would obviously be the water side here, which would encapsulate a large portion of it. And then you could pump that or aqueduct that around the perimeter to encapsulate part of the agricultural side and everything else. It would pipe in for hydroponics, but I also would like a small natural dirt farm for harvesting too there, you know what I mean, in conjunction with that. And I think all that would look good. And then the rest of it, we want maybe a green space park type area, so for recreation and some other things like that. And then as we move on to other floors, we're gonna have living quarters, hospital, or med bay in this case, or what, you know, all sorts of different areas working all the way up. So
this is all going to be brought down to the same level as that down there. Right?
Yeah, it'll be multiple levels of this, but this would be, I don't know if it'd be this wide or if it's going to be 10 wide or 5 wide, but this would be the main spine of the ship running bow to aft. Yeah.
So this is probably roughly center right about here.
Something like that. I have the actual center on that district plan of spaceship. And then we'll have to, all this will go out and it'll become actually like almost a floating bridge, if you will, as the spine of that area. And then we'll build the skeleton up.
I can see it.
Yeah. And then the engines will be the outward facing towards the ocean that way. So you have the big engine blocks and stuff like that. And then the bridge would be what the tunnel is he's making through there. The bridge would be that way where we'll construct it and all that stuff. So it'd be really cool that way. But again, it's just a cutout design, so we can still round it, all this stuff. It's not, you know, I can only do so much with the plan, but at least it gives us an idea of how much to cut out dirt wise. Yep.
All right, cool. Well, once this nap is over, I can spitball some ideas that I have.
Okay.
potentially, See what people think.
Yeah, absolutely. Map time, guys. We'll be right back.